What's the old beer commercial slogan? You only live once in life, so grab all the gusto you can. How's that working out for you? Welcome to Wednesday. Let's go over the hump. So let's admit it. Some of us have grabbed hold of that old beer slogan and made that a philosophy in our life. You only live once in life, so grab all the gusto you can. Live life to the edge. Burn the candle at both ends. Well, I got to tell you something. While Jesus was probably one of the busiest people, and the Apostle Paul was one of the busiest people in the Bible, they had something in their life that you and I need that no beer commercial has ever propagated upon the watching or the listening public. Jesus taught living a life that had margin. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that I'm one of these people that's wired to desire to be busy. I've said this many times. I could probably resign every position, every responsibility that I've got. I could resign as the pastor of my church. I could get off of every little community thing that I'm involved in. And within 3 or 4 days, I would find myself busy again. I'm just wired that way. If life were a sheet of paper, you would find that I write all the way to the edge if I'm left to my own devices. But more and more, as I'm living my life, as I'm understanding the life that Christ called us to, as I'm understanding what his life was like, and what even the life of the Apostle Paul, who seemed to be one of the most relentless, living life to the edge kind of people, is that there's an importance of having margin on that sheet of paper of your life. Margin that leaves room for what is truly the most important thing in life. And as we enter into this new year together, as we face what God has in store for us ahead for this year, you and in the places that you're living, you're working, and you're playing, me and in my places, I want to challenge you today to live a life this year of margin. Now, I'm not talking about just giving up a bunch of stuff and just not doing anything anymore. Too many people have done that. Many people have forsaken the assembling of themselves together in church. Many people think that, if they just stop doing the stuff they were doing in church, they'll finally have some rest and some peace in their life, whatever. But they still end up living things to the edge without margin. Jesus said this. This is really key to us. Matthew chapter 11. He said, come to me, come to Jesus, all you who are weary and burdened. The King James says heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Rest. What does that look like? Does that look like, okay, I'm going to take some vacation time, and we're going to go do this and do this and do this and do this, and then we come home and we're more tired and we need to have a vacation from our vacation? No, Jesus often drew away to be with the Father. Jesus often took times of rest. So my challenge to you in this new year, my challenge to you even on this over the hump day, is to make margin in your life by having 2 non-negotiables. Now, these are things that you have to schedule, and busy people have schedules. Many have really formal written schedules because they have to schedule their time. You're a mom of young children. You have to schedule all these things in your life because otherwise you won't get them done. And sometimes your schedule ends up running you instead of you running your schedule. In Matthew 6:33, Jesus says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and all of its righteousness, and all these things are going to be added unto you." In other words, it's not a thing of what some of us have been taught, that okay, we put God first, we put our family second, we put our church third, and we put business and those kind of things fourth, and that's our order of priority. Jesus never taught that. Jesus said this. He said, seek first the kingdom of God. Put God first. All the other stuff will find its order. All the other stuff will be put in its place. We've often, I think, tried to guilt people up by telling them, you need to spend more time with your family, or no, you need to focus more on your work and your goals and your objectives. Margin in our life means two non-negotiables for me. Number one non-negotiable is this, and I schedule this on my schedule. Time alone with the Father, intimate time alone with the Father on a daily basis. It in the morning is what helps me to get a focus on the day, to move from my earthly thinking to heavenly thinking, to stop focusing so much on what the earth is offering me, but to focus on what God is offering me. To not just think about the things that I need to get done today, but to think about eternity. And God, through those things, puts order into my life. The second non-negotiable is this, and that is finding times of rest. You don't have to watch that TV show that's on till 11 o'clock. You can find out the score of the football game that's going to last till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. There's a way to find time where you can rest. Jesus did. Paul did. The people of God who truly had their lives in order, had margin in their lives. So listen to Jesus' words again as he says this to you today on hump day. Get over the hump. Come to me, you who are weary and heavy burdened. I will give you rest. Rest in Jesus this day. Have a blessed day.